Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark from the United States.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Mark from the States. How are we doing today? I'm doing fantastic. I hope you are as well. Thank you so much for coming. Someone had sent me this video a little while ago, and as you know, my son was there a few months back, and he only got to spend about a day and a half there in Edinburgh, and he did get a chance to get on the Royal Mile. He sent me some photos, God bless him, and I said, wow, man, that's so cool. I was so jealous. As you all remember, I was terribly jealous the whole time he was there. And this video came my way, and the title of it is Understanding the 4 Streets of the Royal Mile. And I was like, what? 4 streets? I was under the impression it was just that one street. But apparently there's 4 of them that make up the whole Royal Mile. And Tony over at Clan BROONFORD, please, links down below, will take you right to this video or to his channel. Get over there, like, subscribe, help him, which then in turn, as you know, helps us. I say this all the time, and I'm going to continue to say it. It's real important you support the original content creators. You know, I'm going to learn something today. I'm going to see something I've never seen today. And it's, you know, without these people getting out there and making these videos, I'm not seeing any of it, right? And when I watch his channel, it just makes me want to go more and more. So one of these days I will get there and experience it. So please, 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 please get over there and help out. I'm going to jump out here. You're going to see... yes, right there, the castle. I'm assuming this is where the military tattoo is performed, where they have that take place in this car park. I call it a parking lot. It's probably called something else, but I see cars parked there, so I'm just going to call it a parking lot. Which is also something I want to see. So... by the grace of the Lord Almighty, hopefully I'll get there someday, and hopefully, with any luck, it'll be during the tattoo, so I can get over there and see that. That would be pretty cool, but I'm sure tickets are pretty tough to get. But anywho, we're going to learn about the Royal Mile today, and I want you to all come with me. Maybe this is something you didn't know. Maybe you'll see something that you didn't know. There might be a lot of you who say, yeah, I already know this. That's fine. I did not. So I'm excited to see it. So come with me. Tony's going to show us around. Let's do it.
Hello, my name's Tony. Welcome to Edinburgh. How are you? Today we are going to break down the sections of the Royal Mile because it's not one street, it's 4. Yeah, revelation there for you. Revelation.
It was.
For you. It's not one street. It's actually 4. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna travel down the Royal Mile as we've done a lot of times before, and we're gonna show you how it breaks up into 4 different streets with 2 other little bits at the top and the bottom of it as well, starting exactly where you are. But before we get started on all of that, hiya. It's been a little while. Thank you for all the lovely messages that some of you have sent me. I haven't been making any videos for the last couple of weeks because my son, my wee 10-month-old, was in hospital. So obviously that took priority over everything else in my life. So that's why I haven't been here for the last couple of weeks. But thank you for sticking with me. I'm back. Marty is doing absolutely fine.
Good.
So
I'm so happy to hear that.
That's that. So let's start where we are right now. Is Edinburgh Castle, as I'm sure a lot of you already know. And what we're standing on right now is the Castle Esplanade. That's what this area is called. Not technically part of the Royal Mile. But I think if we're going to count door to door, Edinburgh Castle to Royal Mile, we've got to guess Edinburgh Castle to Royal Mile, Edinburgh Castle to Holyrood Palace, we've got to count this part. as one section, but it's not actually part of the Royal Mile. So, Castle Esplanade. Usually, as you can see, sometimes a little bit of a car park. I'm not quite sure how you're allowed to do that. I'm going to guess it's maybe people who work or are doing things in the castle, I would imagine. It's not as if I could drive up and park my car. I don't think. I could be completely wrong. Maybe
Right.
I can. But I don't think so. Also, the site of the Edinburgh Royal Military Tattoo. And we're not a million miles away from all of that starting to be built here right now. We're end of April, coming up for the end of April. I would imagine they'll start making it in May, so it's ready, or May or June, so that it's ready for July and August, because there will be concerts on the site as well, with that as a backdrop.
Awesome.
How good is that? Anyway,
Awesome.
So, section 1, the Esplanade. Now that we understand that,
The Esplanade.
the Royal Mile is 4 streets. It's 4 streets that just happen to be one long line. And that long line has essentially been given the title or the nickname of the Royal Mile. When that got that name, when that started to be used, I have no idea. I do not know. I do not know when that started to be
A couple of monks.
essentially nicknamed and then almost officially titled, because there's street names that say the Royal Mile. But they're very different from the actual street names. There's Royal Mile street names. Yeah? Okay, anyway, let's have a
Alright.
look, if you know the history. And the reason being, when this was built and these street names were named, the Mound wasn't there, George IV Bridge wasn't there, this was a walled-in city. There would be buildings there. There wouldn't be a big heavy street, a main street leading down towards the new town, because the new town wasn't there. So it's just a remnant of a divide that was old, that was predating the current streets that we have. So it might seem an odd little section that 2 streets finish there without any main sort of reason. But it's just as good a reason as being a big street. Just the big street wasn't there, and they went, right, that's the end of that. So then we start. St Giles Street actually starts us on the High Street, which obviously is very simply titled, every city, every town has a high street. So now this section here, which is the main centre, or probably what people really think of when you think of the Royal Mile, is the High Street section. So where does the High Street section go to? So here we go, the end of the Esplanade. I suppose we could count it as that line right there. That is the start of the Royal Mile and the start of the 4 streets. And you can see if we go up here, so there we have it, Castle Hill and the Royal Mile. So this section right here is Castle Hill. This is the start of that. It's not a big section, and it obviously leads down to the Royal Mile, which is this way, right here.
Oh man, this looks so
Beautiful cobbled
cool.
streets of the Royal Mile.
Hearing the bagpipes.
It's been a little while since I've been able to walk up and down here, so it's nice to be back at it. Castle Hill finishes just here. So it's only this first section.
Oh yeah, it's not very big at all.
It really only lasts from there to where we started up there. And that counts as the first street of the Royal Mile. Hopefully you can hear me over the bagpipes in the distance, but that's just the way it works here in Edinburgh. That's continuing down the Royal Mile, right there.
Gosh, this looks
And
so
just round
cool.
here, that's Castle Hill, where we've literally just came from, okay? And you can see the change in street right there. Let's zoom in so you can get a nice little look. There we go. Both are the Royal Mile, but there's Castle Hill, and there is Lawn Market. And that is where the 2 streets join. Essentially the line of that building right there, I suppose.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm wondering if that's...
So the Ensign Europe is the start of Lawn Market. And it's easily missed. It's easily missed that it's actually 4 different streets. And I'm going to be honest, growing up, And for a long, long time, I didn't actually realise. I thought this whole area was just called the Royal Mile, but it's not. The Royal Mile is an affectionate nickname. It's a title for the four streets together.
Well, that
They
makes
themselves
sense.
are
Sure.
individual streets. See, it's interesting, isn't it? Now, Lawn Market. I was trying to figure out how it got its name, and it's been kind of difficult to sort of see. The best I can see is it's Castle Hill's obvious why it got its name. It's a hill leading to the castle. Lawn Market, however, is a
Yes.
little bit more difficult. It's something to do with linen. That this was an area where laundry and linen would be done, and I want to say it's something to do with the French translation. To tell you the truth, I couldn't really find a massive amount about it. So it's... But then, you know, you don't always remember how many street names are named. And it's not as if that this had grassy areas or anything on it. It wasn't that sort of street. In fact, as far as I'm aware, for the history of buildings being on here, it never really had that. So...
Before we begin, a couple things. If you know the real reason why it's called Lawn Market, please, I would like to know. Or if you have ideas or, guesses, I'll take those as well. I love the buildings, of course. It's just, and then just hearing the pipes in the background it gives me the chills. I love it. And yeah, so the Royal Mile, I'm understanding. I probably thought the Royal Mile was called the Royal Mile. That was the street name, what's called the Royal Mile. But it's actually four streets that make up the Royal Mile, and the Royal Mile is just a nickname. Okay, I get it. Kind of like Sunset Strip, if you will, in LA, in Hollywood. Even though the street is actually called Sunset. So, and I don't think it changes streets. So, what I just said, forget it. That is not like that. But it does have a nickname, the Strip. So, that part is similar. But yeah, interesting. And you could just in the two things that we've seen so far, just where one street ends, one street begins. And you can, I don't know if that was just coincidence or what, but you could see the two buildings right there at the line were completely different. So I don't know if that was just by chance or that is true to its, hey, this is another, period of time that the street is continuing on and it's something else. But yeah, if you know what Lawn Market, the true historical meaning, why it's called this, let us know. And also, if you saw that thing go across the bottom, he's been getting some issues on his Facebook page. If you follow him on Facebook, people are claiming to be him and stealing his content on Facebook. So don't follow anything unless you are, as you see his socials up there in the top there. Yeah, don't perpetuate by following the fake guy. Speaking of, I have an Instagram. I never talk about it. I haven't been on it in a long time. I've been wanting to put all the stuff that I've been getting from a lot of you that you've been sending to me. I want to I got to get that up. I've just been so lazy. I deal with laziness every single day, and it's such a drag. But I've been wanting to put all that stuff up on the Mark from the States Instagram. It's there, but like I said, I haven't done it. Been on it in a while. I gotta make that more of a thing because it's a good outlet to be able to take photos of a lot of the books and articles and magazines and documents and artifacts that I've been getting from a lot of you, which I absolutely cherish. And it'd be a cool way to share them more in depth on Instagram if I were to take photos of them and kind of post them on there. So I got to get on that. I wish I had somebody like, somebody who lives here, who's, really good with Instagram, who could, easily take photos and put them on there for me, and do it for free. I wish I had somebody like that around. I mean, maybe I'll ask my son if he knows anybody. He just won't do it. He just won't do it. It's like pulling teeth. Yeah, it's a one-man show here at Mark from the States, except for all of you. Thank goodness I have all of you to help me, because I don't know what I'd be doing. Anyway, let's get back to what Tony's talking about here.
Go to. You can actually still make out where we've been. Castle Hill's there, Lawn Market starts there, and Lawn Market finishes there. So we're on the third street here, but we can still see the 2 streets previous just. So let's head down street number 3 of the Royal Mile, the High Street. And like I said, what everyone thinks of as the Royal Mile.
So
I think
still going in a,
you know, like, it's a mile-long street. When anyone visits the Royal Mile,
it's still kind of just going on one street in a sense,
and heading up towards the castle. Unfortunately, the bottom half, the Canongate half, and I'm giving away the last street name there, the Canongate half is kind of forgotten about a little bit, and it shouldn't be. It's a beautiful with some incredible history, but it is forgotten about. And St Giles chiming in the background there.
That's awesome.
So this is all the High Street, and it is a beautiful High Street.
Yes.
You know, can you imagine this is the High Street of your main city? So here we are. That's the section we've just walked down. We're down the opposite side of the North and South Bridge. And if we look up here, there we go. The Tronkirk looking spectacular as well. But you can see right there, it still says the Royal Mile High Street. So we've got a little bit to go down the High Street. In fact, we have to go all the way down to the World's End pub. So let's head down there now. Here we are at the World's End pub, right at the bottom section of the High Street of the Royal Mile, and you can see just up here it still says Royal Mile and High Street. And this is one of those times where it is actually divided, you know that tractor's loud, by a large street. This large street here, so it's Mary Street on one side and Jeffrey Street on the other. So this big cross junction does actually split us from the end of the High Street to the start of that section right there, which you might be able to make out the Canongate. Now, why does this section happen? Because of these gold bricks. Because this was the entrance to Edinburgh. We're going back a fair bit now, but that would have been the start of Edinburgh right there. However, it's not anymore, and we can continue down the Royal Mile onto street number 4 of the section. See, like I said, it's easy to think that it's all just one street called the Royal Mile, but it ain't, my friends. So we start on the Canongate. Now, the Canongate was its own borough. It wasn't part of Edinburgh. It was a borough into itself. It was a small town, maybe. What do you want to? I don't know what you want to kind of describe it. A small town, definitely not a city, but a small. Yeah, it was a borough. That's what it was, on the outskirts of Edinburgh. And this, the Canongate, takes us all the way down to Holyrood Palace. So let's head down there right now. This is one of those things you're going to be able to show off to your friends about. They'll be like, let's go to the Royal Mile. And when you're visiting here for the first time, you're able to say, well, which section? Will we go to the Canongate? Will we go to Lawn Market? Will we go to the High Street? Or we're going right up to Castle Hill? And they'll be like, what are you talking about? And you'll be like, well, actually, let me tell you that it's not actually one street. It's 4 streets into 4 different sections. And just all 4 streets together create the Royal Mile. Did you know that? Well, now you know. Who told you? Well, Tony told me. See? All of that will come out of your mouth in a nice, confident way to your friends and family. The Canongate is probably the largest section. It's over half of the Royal Mile, I would imagine. Yeah, it definitely is, because it's right from up there all the way down there. All the way down there, so it's a very, very large section.
That's not easy to do.
And like I said,
trying to watch where you're pointing on camera.
There's not as much on here, so people ignore it. They don't get to see it. They don't enjoy it as much. They think it's all at the top. The only reason they come down here is maybe to go to Holyrood Palace. So I cut my own head off there. The only reason they come down here is to maybe go to Holyrood Palace, which is a shame. And here we have it, the bottom of the Royal Mile, the end of the Cannon Gate. If we turn around right here, there we have Holyrood Palace, and right behind me right here as well, although I'm very close, you can't see it, this is the Scottish Parliament. So right here would be technically the end of the Royal Mile, and that is the end of the Cannon Gate. And it's quite obvious why it's the end, because it's the end. However, you can see that the Royal Mile right there still has a little bit of a title there. So they must be counting this little street
little part
as
here,
well.
yeah.
So this small section from here, essentially I'm guessing in line with that building there, to the gate right there, that is known as Abbey Strand. And it's literally the length of, what, 2 buildings? As
Abbey
we go to the
Strand.
gate to the Holyrood Palace right there. So there we have all sections. I suppose if they're counting that, I suppose I'll have to call it 5 sections, including the Esplanade. You could go 6 if you want to count the Esplanade. I don't think it actually counts as part of the Royal Mile. But Abbey Strand, Cannon Gate, onto the High Street,
Lawn Market,
onto
Castle Hill,
onto the Esplanade, and to Edinburgh Castle. And there you have all sections of the Royal Mile. I hope you found that interesting.
I did.
It's maybe something that you didn't know before, which is, you know, what I'm here for. So hopefully you have. If you have enjoyed that, as always, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I've also got a small favour to ask. I'm so close. I'm so close to hitting 10,000 on TikTok. If you have a TikTok account, please head over there.
But if you do, go over there and help them out.
On there,
sure.
I come out with short versions of history bites from Edinburgh on there once or twice a week. I'm trying for twice. So please, if you can do me a favour, I would love to hit 10,000 on TikTok. Head over there and follow me on there as well. Or of course you can follow me on Instagram as well. And Facebook, I've got Clan BROONFORD on there as well. Don't go to the fake one. Don't you go to the fake one on there that's Mr. BROONFORD. That's fake. Don't you go there. Clan BROONFORD. It's all Clan BROONFORD. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed yourself.
I did.
Until next time. Bye, you.
Thank you, Tony. That was very interesting. Who knew that? I'm sure all of you knew that. That's silly for me to ask, but I didn't know that. That is so crazy. So you're just walking. It's all different street names. You're still going in the same direction. Of course, you're going to think it's the same street. And I, of course, before this video, just assumed it was called the Royal Mile. Like if I were to look up on a map, I would look for street names called the Royal Mile. But no, I'd be looking for Castle Hill, explanatory. Lawn Market, hopefully somebody knows the reason why it's called that. High Street. Your high streets are kind of like our main streets. Every town has a main street here in the States. I'm sure they probably have High Street as well, but I don't think Ventura has a high street that I'm aware of. But we do have a main street, and that's our main street. Most towns have main streets here. And then the last one, Cannon Gate, and it's the lesser. So I go down there. I mean, you got to see Parliament and the Palace. That thing looked pretty impressive. It looks so awesome. All right. Thank you for coming along. I look forward to hearing and reading a lot of what you guys have to say about this video. Go support Tony. He's just good, and he is my man in Scotland. So it's really awesome, and of course he's been gracious enough to allow us to use his videos to learn from, and so I really would love to reward him for allowing us to do that by everybody going over there and liking and subscribing. Just one like helps. It really does. And he's just a good guy. And Tony, if you're listening, I am so grateful and happy to hear that your son is doing better. There's nothing worse than seeing your child in distress, and I thank God that he's better now. So awesome, my friend, awesome. Okay, hope everybody's happy, healthy, and safe. We will see you later. Bye.
Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark. Yeah,